guess I shouldn't extend an apology because Blanche trained me that way. And apologize for there not being enough room for everybody. Blanche, I'm sorry. Now you know how many people love me and care.
That's the jazz band.
And the woman's jazz band for money.
And it's trusting to be there.
Tov loleches el beis Eiro mileches el beis Mishte. The Pasuk tells us it is better to go to a house of mourning than to a house of partying. V'asher hu sof kol ha'odom, for that is the end of all humans. V'hachai yitin el liboy, and the living shall take it to heart. We begin with our son, Blanche's baby, John.
Woman of valor who can find, for her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, and he hath no lack of gain. She doeth him good and not evil all the days of her life. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she stretcheth forth her hand to the needy. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laugheth at the time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and the law of kindness is on her tongue. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done valiantly, but thou excellest them all. Grace is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Chazal say, Yaakov Avinu lo meis, whoever leaves a Malamakim, someone who carries on their ways, that means they're still living. When Yaakov thought Yosef would be his successor, he was nervous because Yaakov suffered a lot in his life, and Yosef seemingly lived in a lot of luxury. But some Sefer tells us, and for some reason, as I was thinking about what to say today, it was the Yekisha words that came to me. He saw that Yosef was charitable, took care of other people, and he said, your tzedakah will take the place of my yisurim, and you will be a fitting successor. Today, Lag BaOmer, it's also the yard site of the Ramah. And I was thinking, how do you sum up a life? The last words the Ramah writes in Iyar Chaim are actually very appropriate for Mami's Iyar Chaim, her way of life. Leiv Tov Mishta Tomid, a good heart feasts continually, every day, with an adventure. Something else. Let's see if we can do this. Let's experience the moment. I've told this story too many times. I still hope you'll forgive me. At my cousin Ellie's bar mitzvah, we went to Toronto, and I was a little boy from New Orleans, and there was snow on the ground. And I said, I'd like to play in the snow. And Grandma said, tomorrow, it's late now. Go tomorrow, you'll play in the snow. And Mommy said, let him play in the snow. He's going to enjoy it. He hasn't seen it in a few years. The next morning, it warmed up and all the snow was gone. But I had that day. That was how Mommy lived, and that's how we all try to live. One of the things that gave me, I think all of us, tremendous chizuk was throughout this ordeal. And I was farther away, but when I would visit, Mommy would say, Baruch Hashem, he knows what he's doing. I don't mind. Whatever he can do, it's okay. Because she understood HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a plan. That's being able to see the good in everything. That's the Mishnah Talmud. I just asked Mommy to be a Beilit Yosef for us. I'm sure she's already got corporate on the phone. She's got her own tour guide taking her around, take a lot of pictures. That's Hashem. The good words and feelings that she always had for all of us should be clear that we should live the way she did, enjoying every day.
Blanche's first son, big brother,
Hi, Mom. It's me. It's Andy, your son. That's the way a lot of our conversation started. And I don't know, my voice is maybe somewhat recognizable, but Mom, you had 4 children, bright, energetic, inquisitive children. But 4 bright, energetic, inquisitive children have many ways that they can challenge, test, and try and frustrate a parent. So on behalf of myself and my siblings, we ask Mechila for the trouble we caused and those things for which we haven't made amends. Surprise. The places you'll go, the people you'll see. You were welcome when you came, and I'm sure you were welcome, Shemai, when you came back there. To travel unencumbered and to be with those you knew, and those you hadn't seen in this life, and those you knew before you came to care for us. I'm sure there is much fanfare to greet you. I'm not surprised that you found a way to make sure you could be at Shimon and Shira's wedding. Changing the equation on the rules was never a problem. If your store was closed, it just meant there was no line. There was no problem. No one will open up just for us. It's okay. We'll just do this. As kids, we might have cringed from the non-standard approaches that you took, but we benefited from the transactions being made. And from those behaviors, we learned to achieve more, to do more, to be resourceful and self-sufficient. Now we'll continue without you, the teacher, and the tour guide, but you taught us well and we learned. Just know, we love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hugger on the head.
my brother-in-law, Dr. David Blanche's Ach HaGodel. Baruch Hashem, there are lots of people who speak different Torah, who will quote Chazal. I want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about family and history. My parents, our parents, Shalom, got married in 1937, home in Amsterdam. And the newspapers were reporting a lot of scary stuff about war, about trouble. Some people said the trouble is in Eastern Europe. Here in Holland, we're safe. It's good. It's good. Anyhow, the bottom line is that our father
Rabbi Eliezer Shalom said we have to leave Europe. So he and our mother left Europe in 1938, December 1938, was a baby, Jenny. And my sister was born in New York City in 1942. Immediate family, we never knew. Immediate family were left behind. They were in Europe, didn't come to America with us. There were some distant cousins here and there. And there were people who were addressed as uncle and tante in German. Because we lived in the German community in Washington Heights. First we lived on 37th Street, we lived on Bennett Avenue. And we referred to many people as uncle and aunt, but they weren't uncle and aunt really. They were honorary, they were uncle and aunt from the shul, not from the family tree. And so family was very important. It was very rare, it was very precious, it was very special. What Blanche has done to replace the missing family that we didn't have when we were children growing up, he has blessed us with children, grandchildren. Blanche already had great-grandchildren who have rebuilt Beis Yisrael, Binyan Iyar. Even though back in the 1940s and 50s when we were little, we didn't have that mishpacha around us, Baruch Shalom has blessed Blanche, of course, Albert Hanheim, Brady and myself, with a rebuilding following us. And we're sure that Blanche's example, Blanche's leadership will live on for all of us. Be something we will never forget. And we will all be enriched, we and our children after us, by what we learned from her.
The Mechaber, Shulchan Aruch says, mitzvah g'dola lahaskir avameis kiroi. It's a proper and suitable mitzvah to offer words of eulogy that are worthy for someone who passes on. Mitzvosei, and the form of performing this mitzvah, sheyorim kolei, raise your voice, loymar alo dvarim hamashavim mishalei, and say words that break the heart, kidei laharbos b'chio, lahaskir shmochim. I'll tell you in a moment what it means, laharbos b'chio. These are conversations that I had with Blanche. That's why I'm mentioning these certain sources. Because Blanche was a melumedes, she was bright, she was unique. I'll tell you a little vignette. At age 7, she was a little girl in school. Always independent, which I appreciated. Not always appreciated by her teachers, and maybe not always appreciated by her parents. And she had a habit, because she was so bright and understood. She started to answer all the questions. The teacher got mad and put her in the corner. Blanche stood in the corner, and they were doing Haskalah Chumash and Rashi in the 3rd grade. And none of the kids knew the answer. Finally, the teacher, hoping to embarrass this upstart of a young girl, said, "Let's see if Miss Smarty Pants knows the answer." And Blanche, with her little black pigtails, stood there and said, "Well, you told us that Rashi says the following, so that's the answer to the question." They took her to the principal, because that was a confusion. The impudence, she knew the answer. The principal said to the teacher, "This is not a child with a behavior problem. This is a child that's bored. Maybe it's a teacher problem." And so they skipped Blanche another grade. What happened? It didn't work either. She was still too smart. Finally, my mother-in-law said, "You can't skip her anymore. Her chronological age and emotional growth is not ready for the classes with the other young women, the other young girls. So they held her back. And then Blanche enters Beis Yaakov of the old world. I always tease her, her diploma, her smicha from Rebbetzin Kaplan. She was in the Aleph group. She went through whatever. They have different Lashonis, different languages of the diplomas. So she had, I guess, in Beis Yaakov, a chiluk of Yod and Yod, you know? Whatever that's supposed to mean, but that's true, knowing her. And she was a kid, entered Hunter College at the age of 16. But I will tell you, in Beis Yaakov, something started to happen. Every time class began, Blanche had a question. She wanted to know. Finally, the teacher or the students would say, well, what is the Radak going to comment now? The Radak is Rifted David's commentary. I don't know even if you knew that, Leo, but that was her nickname in school. Miss Radak. Gewaltige person of the Mephoshim. And that inquisitive mind never stopped. And a desire to learn and experience life, as Danny and Jonathan described, is so. How does it feel? To create tears. So she said to me when I mentioned this machaber, she says, but Yenin, weren't there different kinds of tears you told me about? I said, yes. You know in Shabbos, it says, Sheish D'moy, saying, there are 6 types of tears. Cooking out from the basement. Top. She said, remind me what they are. So I reminded her. And I said, the 2 stand out most important, Blanche, and that's how I'm going to learn shot with you. There are D'mois shel oshon. There are tears of smoke, which means your eyes get burned because of the effect. Literally, that's how you learn shot. And then there are D'mois on the yofes, on the good side, shel peiros, from fruit. And the Rashi says, minei chardal, from different kinds of mustard, spicy food, or like my friend Rabbi Avram eats all this Shabbos spice stuff, which I don't know exactly the names of. And yet, Blanche wouldn't know that either, because the Dutch custom, if you want to believe it, they would put mayonnaise on the pastrami sandwich. You know, I would call that a goyish town, but I must tell you, I'm going to digress, because she would want this. When Blanche and I became chos in college, I wait 6 hours. She's coming from a family that waits 1 hour. In fact, I must tell you, on our first date, we had dinner. And then we took a ride. They were just building the lower level of the GW, Martha. And Blanche and I took a ride, and I took a little wrong turn on my little green Renault Dauphine. And we ended up at Basement Ware in New Jersey. We came back, and my mother-in-law, Sharon, has a dessert, and it's wonderful. And I said, where did you get such a wonderful patented ice cream? It's terrific. So Blanche's mother says, what do you mean? This is the real thing. It's not ersatz. I dropped my spoon. And I looked at Leo. So he says, they only wait 1 hour. See, Leo learned the shot. And Leo took on another minute. So I said, oh, wow. What's going to happen now? We're going to get married. She says, what am I going to do about my ice cream? So I said, let's go to see Rebbe. We went to the Rebbe. The Rebbe was accessible. He was friendly. I went to Rebbe's house, bought my collar, and he said, "Look, zog mir." He said, "Sie versteht Yiddish?" I said, "Yes, she speaks Yiddish." Was tut man bei dir in Stuhl? What do you do in your house? Van Estman, wie was? He wanted to know all the details. So he said, then obviously, this is how you live. But was wird man tun mit den Kindern? What are we going to do with the children that you're going to have? So she said, my children? They're not used to ice cream yet. So So Rebbe smiled and he said, "Zost du bleiben in deinem Leben, may you remain with your custom for 1 hour and raise your children to follow your husband's lead." This was Rebbe's approach. And my father, it's a friend of the welfare, was very shook up. He couldn't argue because the relation was a capacity. So, my father knew when he was also a little bit beat up. So it got to the point that my father would bring chocolate and say, "This is for my schnur. Sie esst doch Milch." This is for my daughter. She can have milk. The boys shall also, people, now that I've made you laugh, and that's what I want you to do, because that's what she wants. That's what life is about. There are those who are going to cry, and you're going to shed all kinds of tears. But the tears of Oshon, how I taught Blanche Pshat, is a drush, is like smoke. It's puff, copious, and it goes away and nothing remains. It's a fake, it's a sham. But boys shall tears. But tears that will cause a person to mourn and to cry, which will produce fruit. This is what counts. In the evenings, she would talk and ask me questions about knowing what her illness is and what the future is. And she would say, "You're crying, Gary, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, Blanche, I'm crying." She said, "That's good." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you're crying because you love me. And tears of love water my heart, and they can never be bad. So keep on loving and keep on watering me." And I told this to my children and to the rest of you. You want to cry for Blanche? Do something worthwhile. Water her heart and water the hearts of others. Mechaber goes further. You shouldn't exaggerate too much in a eulogy. You go through whatever. And Taz asks a question. What do you do? A half a line, a portion of a line. We don't have to get the moments of this Blanche Gewirtz. We want to take the Taz and read the whole Taz in her and let her go through it. And we did things like that. I need to tell you, for Blanche, there is no reason one need not exaggerate. Without the Taz's pshat. Without the back of the other pshat, because they who quotes the Taz. But rather, you are to speak about their good deeds. What I want to tell you, this is a halacha that Blanche liked best of all. Simon Bates, in Shin Dalet Men, says, just like one makes a eulogy for the men, maspidin al hanoshim, kiroi lahem, you are maspid women, the way it's deserved. And then I told her what the Torah says, and she loved it. The Torah says, you eulogize her in the presence of the Bnei Ha'ir, the Talmidei Chachamim, the scholars. Men should come and listen to hear the shlach of outstanding women. This shows the greatness of Chazal. This shows the greatness of Yiddishkeit and Torah, which I appreciate, which she appreciated, which we received from our Rabbeim. Today, the world doesn't understand it that way, and she and I sort of bemoan to ourselves facts like that. The other night, she was happy and she had a great smile on her face. And I said, Kalashe Neha Yofis, your eyes are beautiful. She says, I know the Gemara Yena, Kalashe Neha Yofis, and it's Shechadika. You know, but that's okay. So I said, that's pretty good. She said, you got God? I said, no. Later that same night, I spoke to Avram on the phone. And I repeated this. Because Blanche said to me, she says, you know, it's a pity. The girls today don't learn like they did once upon a time. They don't know these things. You can't say these kind of things. They didn't know what a Gemara looks like. They don't know what a Medrash is all about. So she said, wait. And she did say this to me. She said, why didn't you tell this to our room? It sounds like I'm boasting. I didn't mean to to be, I said, you're not boasting, you're talking truth. There's a difference between emes and a boast. And I said, I wish that your daughters would know as much as you, and I wish that many others would know as much. She asked that I tell this to you. She said, Yoina, I had it on my cell phone at 11:39 a.m. Wednesday morning. I wrote it as she said this to me. She said, my tafkid is through. My purpose is over. The Rebbeinu Shalom has completed with me what I need or what he wanted. Your tafkid is not through, and you have to continue and tell everyone who's going to be there, if they have a purpose in life, find it and fulfill it. She said, I also remember another Gemara. A Gemara in Chum that you told me. Ein Adam Nekiv, it's boiling the matter, and then it goes into the matter. That a person doesn't move a finger unless it's ordained from heaven. I'm lying in bed here, and you see, this doesn't move and that doesn't move. But it's been a Shemayim. God made this happen. And in the presence of God, there is no evil. She said, remember what you told me. I'm dealing with a Talmud Chacham here. She said, you told me once, this Gemara that says, further down on the daf, and it's talking about Nun, where it's talking about Ilm Hokh or Isi, you go down towards the bottom. On that day, the Almighty God is one, and His name is one. The Gemara asks the question, and is He not one now? And the answer is, in this world we say, we spell the name of Hashem, Yud-K, and we pronounce it Aleph Dalet. We also, Lovely, we're going to pronounce it fully. And then the Gemara says, depending on which part of the daf you want to go to, it's repeated twice. But it tells us, this world, Olam Hazeh, is different than Olam Haba. Olam Hazeh, when something happens that is wrong, that's bad, it's painful, mevorchin bracha baruch dayin hames. You make a bracha dayin hames like my children and I do today, and my brother-in-law. Al dover tov, on good things, you say ha-tov ha-meti, thank God for the good. But in the future world, hakol yeh tov ha-meti, there will only be good. Because there is no evil. And the Marshal was shot, and I have the Marshal in my pocket. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm keeping my promise. It's here on it. The Marshal says, what does it mean? We all see Levaya. And what does it mean, the idea that there is no bad? There are those people who say, why me? Why me? What's happened? What did I do? Hakol lefi hamekabel. Ein roy yotzes mipei Hashem. It's an echo. The Rashi was how Rashi learns Pshat. What bad doesn't happen in everything that comes from God is good. So Marshal says lefi hamekabel depends how you receive what's happened. Blanche had bitachon. She had amunah. I should be worth one little bit of that. She was Makabel Yisurim Ba'avo. And she said to me, Yoina, look, you and I had 50 phenomenal, wonderful, outstanding years. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nachas. Do I get angry at the Rebbeinu Shalom? Or do I say, thank you, look what you gave me? And you must have a plan. Shul says, and she remembered this, that there is a purpose in creation to teach us the Achdus Elokus, the oneness of the Almighty, the oneness of creation, the plan, the mosaic. With 2020, if you're honorable people, and you will look back in your lives, Try to remember how many times you said thank you for the good that you got, or how many times you complained for the bad that you think you got, and didn't understand. You will sit up there and you will see. It's not going to be that way. And she said, I don't know the answer, but when I get there, I will know the answer. And I believe what you told me. There's a rhythm haba, and that's where I'm going. In fact, at one point, she said, should I keep on going? She was starting to fade. She was already talking, like Chazal say, onto the other side. And she looked to Miriam and she said, do I keep on going on the journey? Do I continue? Miriam said, yes. She reached out her hand and she said, come, Yaina. Go with me, come with me. And I said, where are we going? We're going to go to the boathouse. I said, the boathouse? Yes. Now I remember why she said the boathouse. Because she said to me, when I pass on, Yaina, tell them my favorite story. My favorite story is the Posuk Kehelis, Peretz Zion Posuk Aleph. Tov Shem Tov V'Shemen Tov V'Yon HaModes Me'er V'Yivoldoi. Better is a good name than the most fragrant oils, and the day of death more meaningful than the day of birth. Fragrance is very simple, the Mepharshim say. Sudas David says it's simplest enough. You take the best perfume, the best fragrance, it fades after a period of time. But if you have a good name, it continues to grow and it evolves and becomes better. But the question, Yom HaModes Me'er V'Yivoldoi, the day of death is better than the day of birth. So there's a Tanchumim. Omer Rav Levi, everybody should know this. I'm sure you have. Blanche loves this. Omer Rav Levi, Lemahadov Adomen Lishnei Sfinos M'Leis Undim Bayam. There were two ships laden with merchandise at the dock. Achas Bo ve'achas Harleches. One is going and one is coming. V'hoyu mekalsim lezu v'loi lezu. And people were standing there and they were applauding and cheering, one coming in and the one going out. They were doing nothing. Omdu tmeim yomru. And in wonderment they said, those that were there, Lama makalsim lezu v'loi lezu. Why are you applauding? I can hear her saying the words with me. That's why I know it by heart, because she's the chazan. The answer was the zoo. You don't know what's going to happen. Potential is there, future is there, ability is there, merchandise is there, genetically is prepared, but we don't know. But this ship that returns laden to its source, it went in peace and it came in peace and it accomplished its purpose. And Blanche was funny. She said, tell him, I just wanted a housewife and a mother. I said, let me tell you, sweetheart, that's a pretty big job. If you read Eish's Chayil and you listen to the words instead of us just singing it on Friday night and go through line by line and see what the Mepharshim say and understand it, then you know it's not an easy thing. But yes, there were many achievements that Blanche had in life, many career achievements. And one of the things that she enjoyed the most was she went to her high school reunion. And at her high school reunion, someone asked, who can write up the reunion at Beis Yaakov? So they said, we want a story, but remember, no pictures. Hamadia. Being a magazine. So Blanche says, no picture? So they said, yeah, pictures if you want, but they're served on the tables. And you want to see another piece of kishki, another piece of cake, another piece of shit's commando bread. But they said, you can't. Like my good friend Avram says to me, what happened to Bobby after all these years? Sadie comes for a Hanukkah and Bobby never shows up. Blanche liked that line, that's why I repeat it. Age 18 to 68, 67, it's a long time. There are a lot of mummies there. A lot of great-grandmothers there. Some recognized each other, some didn't. And then, after she wrote that, somebody who read it said, you know, you write very well. What else can you write about? So Blanche says, I traveled the world with Iyar. I traveled to places of interest. So they said, send me an article. So Blanche wrote her first article about Ireland, from her Jewish perspective, so to speak. And her memory was flawless, her senses were outstanding, and her appreciation for beauty was beyond the scope of many, and she wrote. They liked it. And I remember when she got her first check, we didn't need it. It's for 10 cents a letter or a word, I don't mind these guys, it's 10 cents a word. Debbie will remember better, and I remember Blanche calling Margie from our office, asking how much am I supposed to charge. And Margie said, usually it's 8 cents, but if you get 10 cents, that means you're better. So Blanche got 10 cents. That was important to her. You know, she was ready to do her thing. And she wrote another article, and another article. All of a sudden, they put her on the cover of the magazine. And they gave it a title, Blanche Branches Out. So I don't know if you know about Blanche Branches Out, but about 8 or 10 months ago, when Blanche was already in bed, one of our granddaughters, Blanche, left a message. She read an article in which Bubby's name was mentioned. There was some young lady who wrote an article. Pesci, I forgot what her last name is, but Pesci something, again with an N, said, I don't know who Blanche Gewirtz is, and I'm not a Blanche Gewirtz, but I took a trip and I want to write about it. So she wrote a trip that she and her girlfriend went from Borough Park to Detroit, Michigan for Shabbos. And she concludes, and she says, I hope that someday I can travel the world, but for the time being, Blanche branches out, but Pesci tried. It was a great little article, and it gave Blanche such nachas and such joy. And then we missed that article, and I have to thank Bracha for sending it on. And then we wrote a letter to this Pesci, Niedelman, I think it was, to let her know that about Blanche. I remember these Hamodia girls that were selling the magazine. So I walked in at Kosher Fest 2 years ago, and they had a booth, Hamodia, and they had girls near the door trying to sell subscriptions with copies of the magazines, and they were giving out chocolate as an enticement, I guess, or as their gift. So I said, can I have 2? He said, why? I said, my wife, I said, is a nasher. So I said, and not only is she a nasher, I said, she's obviously on the front page, it's a story about Jamaica, I think. I said, she's the front cover of your magazine. So this young woman says, you know Blanche? I said, not that well, but she's been my roommate for 49 years. Tell the Beis Yaakov girl that Blanche is a roommate. But I was having fun. And I said, can I have 2 copies of the magazine to bring home? She said, how many candy bars do you want? I took quite a few. And Blanche enjoyed every one of them. On the other hand, she said, Jana, I want you, after you quote the Gemaras that I know, and remind them that we don't move a finger without the Almighty, I want you to tell them something else. I said, what's that? She said, read from that Kitzur Shulchan Aruch we showed you. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, you have to understand, in the Yeshivish world was not a popular book. When I went to Telz, Kitzur was maybe Machloka Aleph. It became at least a Chayot. Then a Mishnah Brewer and Machloka Gimel. But the Shlomo Ganzfried, in his Kitzur, in Siman Chavot, Sif Chav Beis, says the following. And she said, Yoda, read it, translate it, and tell them, this is my tzavor. This is my last will and testament. And Yoda, you don't know who's going to be there for your hesped because you can't be doing two things at one time. So join me and make it a joint will and testament to our children, to our grandchildren, and to all the daughters that come in the future from us. So I'm going to read it to you. Afal pi she'amiras hakadosh va'atfilos mo'ilos de'ha'olos. Even though saying Kaddish and davening for the Yomid and having a yard sites in such a chiyuv and such a chiyuv. Because if you look at the beginning of this Siman Aleph says it's nice to daven, it's nice to this, and he takes 21 paragraphs to tell you who gets preference over who. And Mr. Gura has to write a whole Siman and a whole kuntris on who's a chiyuv and who's not a chiyuv. And the Rosh Hashanah Zolazayim Yizun Vaylomo, he said, you bring a bezoyim to your parents, those who fight for the Yomid, and think they deserve it, as if their parent is worth more than another. But I've never heard anybody say to me, oh, I'm happy to give him my Haftorah today because it means more to him than to me. Here! So we'll go right. So he says, even though this is helpful for parents, Mikol Mokem Ein Elu Ha'ikar. This is not the Ikar. This is not the most important thing. Elo Ha'ikar Hu Shehabonim Yelchu Ba'orach Meisher. The most important thing is that children should go on a straight, honest, and good path. Be a mensch. Mahu Bafrato. Remember. There's a Shulchan Aruch, there's a Torah, and it wasn't built up as she and I joked sitting at the little Seder that she had in the bedroom this year with me. And she said, I know you're in it. We're not playing with the cardboard. How big is the matzah? We're not counting the ounces. How much is the wine? We're going through our own Yetzias Mitzrayim right now. And we were. It was Mancher Hussein. And I said to her, sweetheart, Manish Tama Halayla Hazeh, you know how beautiful and great tonight is? We're here together. It's us against the world. It's not a question. It's a proclamation. And she said, I like that. I said, I didn't make it up. That's what Manish Tana means. I said, just like that he says, Avodim Hoyinu, you're supposed to sing with joy. Because what does Avodim Hoyinu mean? She said, I know. Subservience to the Almighty. She says, that's what I'm telling you, Yaina. Know that I am willing to accept, and I love you, and I want you to learn to accept. And I want people who watch to understand that bitachon is a word, but until you go through it, and until you live it and experience it, and stop shaking your head and going, oh, how terrible. They don't understand. But understand there is an achdus to the creation. There is something that a Rebbeinu does. And I want the world to know there is a plan, and I'm part of that plan. And he continues fighting. The same is what she said. Ki bozeh, by acting Beirach Misha on a straight path, they bring worth, value, benefit to their parents. Hocha isu b'zeh HaKodesh, and he quotes from the Zohar, Bein Yechavedav, and he tells you how you honor your father, how you honor your mother, and what's involved, and you take care of them in their life, and you feed them, you drink them. You know all the Gelernis, you can go through all of this. And then he says, with those who think that after life, on the other side, parents don't leave their children and there's no chiyuv of kibbud av, he says, punkt bad kev. Even though a person passes on, is chayav yekora yasir. You are obliged to perform and endear them and bring to them enhancement even more. Dichsiv kabed esavicha, dahai Because if you have a child that goes on an improper pathway, this is reminiscent of the Gemara in Peivov and Yumit. Oilei Ovim! Ashrei Ovim! V'ahavta l'Hashem Elokecha v'yashem Hashem Yisrael ha'yidecha. All of these nice things that we throw around without really meaning them. Yisrael, do it more. He says, but if a child goes v'urach takala, if you live in an improper way, you're not fair, you're not honest, you're not good. You're worried about mitzvahs. You're worried about how to, how many times do I do this? How many times do I do that? How many people are staying in line behind me when I'm getting parfum? I don't worry about that, do I? Because I got to go till the finger, till the wrist. How much? Chofetz Chaim didn't worry that way. Erlich Hayidin didn't worry. So the Zohar says that kind of a child is bringing embarrassment to his parents. Vadai oved le kolona, he's bringing curse and shame and pain. If a child goes in the good way and is a mensch and does what's expected, the tikkun daya, and he corrects his flaws, and he stops being and saying, I'm just a person, I can't help it. That's why there's an eraser on a pencil. No. The tikkun daya, he brings glory to his parents. You bring glory to your parents for the living in this world. And they say, Oi, I've mir gesagt, das auch so eine Kinder. I should have children like that. But on top of all that, you bring this praise before the heavenly throne, and you become glorified in God's presence. And the Almighty saves these good deeds. The Almighty reserves all of these susim. And He places them as the foundations of the heavenly throne. So my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and me, ask for me, but I'm asking for Mama. Please, live your lives and dedicate it to Orach Misha. Remember, Pia Poscha B'Chachma. She opened her mouth with wisdom. She was brilliant, she was bright, but she had most of all understood what it means to be an Eved Hashem. We'll conclude in one moment. The Seder begins this week. It's Parshas Emor, Danny's Bar Mitzvah Seder. You know who taught Danny for his Bar Mitzvah? Not Daddy. Mommy. I remember Friday night, Mommy taking Danny up into our bedroom and reviewing it with him. I'm a good dad, but I have a temperament sometimes, maybe. Mommy had the softness and the gentleness that a mother can have, but she learned Shropio from you. Because my brother-in-law Leo used to teach Bar Mitzvah. Blanche would listen. That was her way of learning. Nothing escaped her. I used to love when she would do the Yekish Rosh Yoshir for me with the Tam Elyon. Or she would do the Vayachal in their way. And I was embarrassed when I asked her to, she said, I can't sing this. Some of the guys here. I said, all right, I'm sorry. Make believe you're a lady. She said, yeah, but anyway, I sort of hustled her into it. Oh, she did not share. And she did all little things. She was having fun. And I loved all of these little things about her. They were big things. But it was Parshas Emor, the Pasuk begins, Emor. And everybody quotes Rashi and the Medrash, Lahaziach Dolim Alaktanim, in order to teach the older folks to make the younger Kahanim to be pure, good, stay away from Tumah. Instead of teaching them to grow in Kedusha, we teach them to waste their time on being afraid of Tumah. Where do I stand? Where do I run? There's a mess, there's a mess, there's a mess, and I'm purified. Knock it off. Halacha is halacha, I'm asking. You can play with Edelman all day long and figure out where your carpet is and where no man's land is. But there's a no man's land if you're caught lacking Kedusha and you only spend your time on Tumid. I remember Rav Moshe said, what is a mess on Al HaTumid? The mess, the deceased corpse, is the height of impurity. Zuweisen, die Grace der Neshama, the Kedushas HaNeshama, to teach how great and how powerful and how unique and sanctified is the human soul. So we have to go from one extreme to the other. Devote yourselves to Kedusha. Then you go a little bit further and I'm going to finish with this. What's Pshat in Amurva Marathon is a big Ramban on that same first post. The Ramban says, in essence, what Mommy wants you to know and would like me to try to share with you. The Ramban says, what does it mean, Amur or Marathon? So he says, everywhere the word Torah says, Amur or Marathon, Vayadaber, he speaks, he said, who is Vayadaber? Moshe talks, Aaron talks. For whom are they speaking? Omar Lahem Bishmi. Few little words. Omar Lahem Bishmi. 3 words. These 3 words, the Ramban says, is the essence of Torah, the essence of Yiddishkeit, and the essence of the whole Elohim Ba'amal. Tell them they do this in my name. Not the rabbi, not the Rosh Yeshiva, not the Rebbe, not mommy, not daddy. There are 3 partners in a child. His father, his mother, and the Rebbeinu Shalom. And ultimately, mommy said, I remember what you taught me. If my father or mother will forsake me, the Rebbeinu Shalom was there. So you start off if you want, and you can quit now. 2 are better than 1. And read all that if you want in Koheles, in Perek Dalet. How it talks about how it's better to have 2 than 1 and being married, and a partner, you cover each other's back, you keep each other warm, then you end up having a family. And then there's a Dover Acher that Rashi says a little later, he, Mishu Talmud Chacham, U'Gnei Talmud Chacham, U'Ben Talmud Chacham, Lo Yomu Shibra Akira, the Torah will leave your family. And then it says, Chutam Meshulash. What does Chutam Meshulash mean? I'm telling you, Elu Habonim. These are the children, father, mother, and the Rebbeinu Shalom. Bind and wind and do this. Then you will be blessed, I hope, all of us in Kal Yisrael, to continue to receive what Blanche wanted us to know. Omar Lahem Bishmi, whatever you do L'Shem Shamayim. Do for the Rebbeinu Shalom and be Mekabel like I am. I'm here, but I'm happy. He gave us all the good years. Your tears are wonderful, so please, don't let them go like a puff of smoke. Remember us all, and particularly Blanche, in all the tefillas. And I hope, Blanche, that I was a good husband. I did my best. I'm not flawless. You did better than your best, but we became close in the latter years to a level that was impossible to describe, for which I appreciate. And I'm thankful. I asked you to feel it, and I know the answer without even asking, because you said to me, remember that whatever happens, I'll always love you. And I'm a New Yorker. And because I'm a New Yorker, I'm going to get in the front row up there on my perch, and I'm going to fight for you. I'm not going to sit in the bleachers. I'm going to get a front row seat, and I'm going to make sure that you're looked after. I'll allow it should happen for all of us, that you look after. Please rise for the